ASMR video, just doing triggers and things like that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Make sure you obviously, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I think we're like at 6K or super close to 6K. I don't know. I just thank you guys so much for the great support you guys have given me. Also, hopefully this video comes out okay. My mic is actually broken. I cannot hear the feedback from my microphone. So if there's any big bumps or anything like that, hopefully I can edit them out because I'm not gonna be able to hear them myself. So my mic is broke. I do apologize. So yeah. Other than that, yeah, like the video, subscribe, and I guess we can jump right into tonight's video. Okay, so let's get started, and let's put a little title on this. I guess it could technically be a pretty long title if I wanted it to be, but I'll just do I don't know, top 10. I'll just put NCAA. Hopefully you guys can understand what that means. Top 10 NCAA players of all time. Obviously, with a lot of great players only getting to play 1, 2, 3, 4 years in NCAA basketball, especially back in these days, not a lot of one and done. So we're gonna see a lot of probably NBA legends, or maybe even players we never heard of before. I guess we're gonna find out as we get started with number 10. Let's see here. And at number 10, let's see, I can make that a little bigger. I need to remember to do that. Oh, wow. Okay, so at number 10, they actually have, at least in my opinion, a pretty good NBA legend. And that is Larry Bird himself. Wow, that's crazy. Now, obviously, this is not going off of, basketball talent or NBA prowess. Going off of his college days. And in college, Larry Bird ranked number 10 all time. Averaged in his collegiate years 30.3 points per game, 5 assists, and 13 rebounds. Yes, Larry Bird himself averaged 13 rebounds in college. That's crazy. He was also the College Player of the Year, 2-time MVC Player of the Year, 2-time First Team All-American, and a 3rd-team All-American as well. So it looks like he played 3 years in college because he won 2 times. Yeah, he was a 2-time first team and then a 1-time 3rd team. So I'm assuming he played 3 years. And he played college at Indiana State University, which, if you think about it, it's not really the most popular team in Indiana. Obviously, the Hoosiers are the most popular team, but it seems like Larry Bird took Indiana State all the way to, yes, 33. Yes, count it, 33-0 into the NCAA tournament and made it all the way to the NCAA championship game. Now, if you don't know this story, spoiler alert, he ended up matching up with another pretty good player, Magic Johnson. And yes, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson faced off against each other for the NCAA championship game before they even were, NBA rivals. They were rivals in college, which is super cool to see. But 33-0, probably had a very good chance at doing it, but they lost. Larry Bird lost, and Magic Johnson and his Michigan State team, yes, he played for Michigan State, who are now out of the March Madness this year because they just lost against UCLA last night. And yeah, number 10, we have Larry Bird. At number 9, let's see, after I scroll through this, who do they have on this list? Wow, that was a really good circle. I'm pretty proud of myself. At number 9, who do they have? Wow, you gotta be kidding me. That's actually hilarious. Well, if you are Larry Bird and you're watching this video, I do apologize, or a mad Celtic / Larry Bird fan, I'm also very apologetic. yes, obviously we just talked about him being a national champion one time. The Final Four most outstanding player, first team All-American, second team All-American, and third team All-American. So I'm assuming, again, it looks like he played 3 years in college. He won a first team, a second team, and a third team. NCAA champion. He was the most outstanding player in the NCAA tournament in the Final Four, which is super cool to see. And obviously, almost averaging a triple-double in college is a very impressive thing over, a college career, I'm assuming. Now again, with Magic Johnson and the sort of crazy story with him and Larry Bird starting out as, college rivals before even entering in the NBA is actually something that's very funny, at least in my opinion. I just really hope that they don't leave players off of this list, because these guys are so tied together in history. In the championship game, he led both teams in scoring with 24 points per game, 5 assists and 5 rebounds, and keeping Larry Bird at bay, shooting only 33% that game. Wow. So I don't know if Magic and Larry Bird were guarding each other, but it says here Larry Bird only shot 33% while playing against Magic Johnson's Michigan State team. That's a good little stat there. But obviously, Larry Bird gets his titles, Magic gets his titles. They're both GOATs in NBA lore. I think they're both fine, at least in my opinion. No feelings hurt. So that's kind of cool. So we have Bird, we have Magic Johnson, and at number 8, they have here, let's see, at number 8. Oh, wow. Okay, that's interesting. At number 8, I didn't know this guy was sort of a phenom in college, but I guess he was. This is definitely a more old head basketball name. You gotta be really informed of basketball to know the name David Thompson. If you don't know, David Thompson is one of the best scorers in Denver Nuggets history. I'm pretty sure. If I do remember, if that's wrong, I'm stupid, but I think David Thompson did play for the Denver Nuggets, and he's one of the greatest scorers in their sort of team's history, maybe even the greatest behind Melo, arguably. He averaged his entire college career 26.8 points per game, so let's round that up to 27 points per game and 8 rebounds per game. That is absolutely crazy. Almost averaging 30 points per game in college. That's crazy. He was a NCAA champion one time, the NCAA Final Four most outstanding player, college player of the year, 3-time ACC player of the year, 3-time first team All-American, and 3-time first team All-ACC player as well. Whoa, that's crazy. Definitely more, single player stats, but David Thompson, man, he was a scoring machine for sure. That's super crazy. He led his North Carolina State, so he played for North Carolina State, and the Wolfpack went on to a 27-0 undefeated season, averaging 24 points per game and 8 rebounds. But it seems like they were banned from the NCAA tournament that year due to some violations that were going on through his recruitment. So even all the way back in, what is that? I'm assuming like the 70s, recruitment was still a very, very, very big deal. Nowadays you hear about it all the time with like DeAndre Ayton in Arizona and all these other teams. Even I think Zion got a little bit of trouble with that with Duke. Recruitment is a very big deal, and even back then they even had problems. So that's pretty funny. He got banned from that. But right to David Thompson again. I didn't really know. David Thompson was sort of like that in college. That's really cool to see, actually. We all get to learn something new while doing these videos, and I love that a whole lot. At number 7, though, let's see who they have here. Oh, wow. You know what? I thought this player would be ranked a little bit higher. Well, maybe not. I think just the story of this player makes him higher, at least in my 2 times first team All-American, second team All-American, and 2-time ACC team member as well. So, like I said, Christian Laettner, as we know, just absolutely despised by so many people, not because of how good he was, but the way he played. Very rugged, very tough, very almost like a Detroit bad boy, if he could be. He was very rugged. He played, good and finesse and great basketball in the post, but man, he was just a dominant player and asked and needed a lot of presence when he was playing in the games. Obviously, great buzzer beaters in college basketball history, and just dominated the games. I think that's a good spot for him. But now we are on to number 6, it looks like. And for number 6, let's see if we can get up in here. Oh, wow. Okay, that's interesting. At number 6, they actually have a player on here who's, again, pretty arguably a GOAT himself. A lot of players in today's NBA love this man. And I didn't know, again, that this player was about that life in college, but does not surprise me one bit. At number 6, they have the Big O himself, Oscar Robertson. Yes, Oscar Robertson. Super crazy. Wow. I didn't know he was that good of a college basketball player, but then again, great NBA player. Why would he not be? He averaged 34 points per game, 7 assists, and 15 rebounds. Yes, 6'4" guard Oscar Robertson in college averaged 15 rebounds. Sorry. He never won an NCAA championship though, which is, again, does that go back to Christian Laettner being a 2-time champion, being the best player on that Duke Blue Devils team? Does that make him more valuable? I don't know. But averaging, nearly a triple-double in college, 33 points per game, 15 rebounds as a 6'4" guard, who knows? But he is, in fact, a 2-time college player of the year, a 3-time UPI college player of the year. Oh god, these are all really old stats. I don't even know what I would say for these things. He is a 3-time first team All-American, 3-time first team All-MVC member as well, and he also led the NCAA in scoring 3 times. I'm assuming he probably only played college for 3 years, so all 3 years he was in college from freshman to junior. He led the league in scoring. Well, led the nation in scoring, I should say. 1 year, he averaged 35 points per game and 15 rebounds in his first year in college. 35 and 15 his freshman year. That is just insane. Although wasn't ever, enough to make it to a NCAA title. It's still, at one point in time, he had the NCAA's all-time leading scorer sort of mark in his sort of repertoire. But Pistol Pete Maravich, if you don't know, which may or may not spoil the rest of the video, we'll have to see, but now leads the NCAA in all-time scores. I think, unless someone else has passed that yet, I think it's still Pistol Pete Maravich, but it used to be Oscar Robertson. So again, he had that and a lot of other, a plethora of awards, but not an NCAA title. On to top 5. Number 5. At number 5, let's see. Oh my god. I feel like I'm constantly spoiling these lists, guys. I am so sorry. But at number 5, guess who it is? It is, in fact, Pistol Pete Maravich. It's like I can read the future or something like that. It's kind of funny. I think I spelled it right. Yep. Pistol Pete Maravich. Again, a funny coincidence. Oscar had the all-time leading NCAA in points record, but then Pistol Pete came around and took it over. Because, in fact, Pistol Pete, who played for Louisiana State, It says here, only one man has ever won the Big Ten Player of the Year award 3 times, and it is the man considered to be the best player in the history of the conference. Wow, that's super cool. I guess if you are the best player in these sort of conferences history, I guess you should be on the top 10 list. It seems like that. Jerry Lucas seems like an amazing player. And he also won the NCAA championship his first year playing under Bob Knight. Wow, that's legendary as well. That's a story in itself. Bob Knight, one of the greatest coaches of all time, not only just in college, but coaches of all time for sure. That's really cool. Okay, so number 3. Let's see what they have. Oh wow, okay. I'm surprised, but I'm not really surprised because obviously this guy probably was dominating every single league he ever played for. At number 3, they have, yes, the absolute legend himself, Bill Russell. Wow. Bill Russell played for San Francisco. I don't know if that's San Francisco University or something other type of name, but it says San Francisco. And in his college career, he averaged 20 points per game and 20 rebounds. So the dude averaged 20 and 20. If you didn't know, back then, I'm assuming, because in the NBA they didn't do it, no recordings of blocks. So, for a fact, Bill Russell was probably averaging 20, 20, and 20. It seems like probably the way people talk about Bill Russell. He averaged he has 2 NCAA championships, the NCAA Tournament Player of the Year, 2-time Helms Player of the Year, whatever that means, WCC Player of the Year, and a 2-time First Team All-American. Wow. It seems like he played in college for 2 years, won 2 titles, and then skedaddled his way over to the NBA, which is kind of cool. So, for a fact, if Bill Russell played all 4 years in college, he probably would have won 4 national titles. I wouldn't doubt it. Wow, that's super crazy. I mean, it's really cool to see Bill Russell on this list because obviously Bill Russell being one of the GOATs in the NBA, obviously people argue, with time and where he played and how he played and this and that, if he's really a top 10 type talent. But in my opinion, just the IQ of Bill Russell, the way he changed the game, the way he really, helped out a lot of players in their path to being where they are, player empowerment and everything like that. Bill Russell is definitely a GOAT in my eyes for sure. Player number 2 now. Let's see who they have here. I have some names in mind that I can think of, and it is the player I'm thinking it is. That's pretty funny. A player who shares the same name as Mr. Bill Russell. And that is number 2, Bill Walton. Wow, that's really cool. So, yeah, Bill Russell, and then number 2 big man, Bill Walton. Bill Walton, his college career averaged 20 points per game, 16 rebounds, and he played for the College of UCLA, who did win last night and are now in the tournament, which is really cool to see. That was a crazy game against Michigan State. If you guys watched that game, that was a really fun one. He has 2 NCAA championships, 2 Final Four Most Outstanding Players awards, a 3-time College Player of the Year, 3-time All-American, and 3-time West Regional Team, whatever that means. But yes, obviously with Bill Walton, John Wooden, a crazy team around them. That UCLA dynasty lasted for so long, not because of just Bill Walton. Obviously, there's another player I'm assuming we're going to be talking about very soon, but Bill Walton also really well upstanded that sort of tradition of being a great basketball team. Bill Walton, obviously, if you guys didn't know, undoubtedly a dominant player when he first obviously got into the NBA, playing for the Portland Trail Blazers, but really say, is he really, a top 50 player of all time? Is he really a Hall of Famer, this and that? But Bill Walton is definitely one of those what if players. If he never got hurt, Bill Walton might be a top 5 center of all time, maybe something like that. He'd definitely be more of a great, at least in my opinion, probably would have led Portland to a couple more titles if he was a little bit less injury prone. But we could talk about some sort of recommended players. I mean, obviously Michael Jordan, player on this list that we're not going to be talking about. Great player in college, obviously won an NCAA title with NC State and North Carolina. Sorry, just North Carolina, Tar Heel. But I think he only averaged about 16, 17 points per game. He was a great player, great scorer, but not obviously the Michael Jordan we all know of him today. We just talked about, Dougie McBuckets, Tal Hansborough, obviously players like Zion, players who are good, obviously, but didn't really make it that crazy far in this sort of NCAA tournament or champion or anything like that. And I'm sure there are a plethora of very older name guys that we could name. I have no idea, but probably a lot of good players that we probably aren't going to be naming, but there are a lot of great players on this list that you could sort of rearrange in and out. At the number 1 spot, and I'm going to be doing this sharp again because I know a lot of you guys like that one. We have here number 1. And if you know anything about college basketball, or maybe anything even just about basketball in general, you may know this name. And if you don't know this name, now you know. And it is a player known as Luol Deng. Now, Lou, if you don't know, is one of the greatest players in NBA history as well. And now you're thinking, ASMballeR, you're stupid. I've never heard of a player named Lou. Well, Luol Deng is also known as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yes, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is now, was before Luol Deng in college. In his entire collegiate career, he averaged 26 points per game and 15 and a half rebounds. Again, no recordings of blocks back in these days. He probably averaged, again, like 20 blocks per game, who knows. But in his college career, he has three national titles, 3-time most outstanding player, 2-time AP All-American Player of the Year, Naismith Player of the Year, I've never heard of that award before, 3-time first-team All-American, and 3-time West Regional Team member, just like Bill Walton himself. Wow. And just like Bill Walton himself being not only a dominant big man in college, but a dominant big man in college playing for UCLA. So yes, the top 2 players ranked on this person's list are both from UCLA. That is crazy. And I do believe that UCLA back in the day, probably from when, since, Kareem's days all the way up to Bill Walton's days, were just the best team, hands down, no doubt about it. They're a factor. They were just a dynasty of that time. We think of the Celtics and their dynasty in NBA. That was the Celtics of the NCAA world were the UCLA Bruins at that point in time. It's so great to think how dominant Kareem was his entire career, not only in NBA but college and probably even high school. Just everything he's done for the game of basketball, it makes him a goat. People even argue Kareem to be the greatest player of all time because of what he did and what he did in college as well. And I don't think I can really talk about anything more about Luol Deng or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar being number 1. That is the only one that no one can take that away. That is the only 100%, no doubt about it, pick. If you pick that, I will say, as ASMballeR, you are wrong. If you don't say Luol Deng is the